Hello. So I have a lot that I want to show you and to accomplish in this video. We'll see how well I do. That all does look like a mess because it is, but that's okay. What I want to show you is a bit about what can be done to actually build this mega multi-mob monster mashing machine. You know, I did do a video where I introduced you to it and to the different farms in it, although I did forget to show you one of them, the iron farm that's further up here, and I'll take a look at that with you in just a minute. These farms are generally farms from other YouTubers, and I credited them in that video, and so this video will have the same credits at the end. But anyway, I just wanted to start off by showing you that farm, the iron farm up here. Although did I keep the blocks with me that I need? Yeah, I did. Okay. So I just need to switch a couple of these things out. Because I'm going to have to break some of these blocks just to get in there and show it to you. Okay, and actually I think I'll do, it may not matter, but I'm gonna do that. Sometimes it helps to create a perch and then to come down on that. Okay. Alright, so now what I need to do is put up some torches so that these signs can be read. Basically what I did is I put up signs that give the dimensions that you're going to need in order to build this, at least the way that I did. You know, I just want to encourage you to come up with your own designs for things. But generally speaking, this is how it's done. So what I'm going to do is go over here and, oh, I need to explain the length versus the width, and in order to do that appropriately, I need to come back out here. So the direction that I'm facing now, you'll see in the coordinates next to my position in the upper left corner of the screen. As I go back and forward in this direction, the right hand coordinates are the ones that change. That is the width, and it doesn't matter if it's a part of this whole contraption that happens to be longer than wide. I'm just going on those coordinates and I'm calling those coordinates the width. Okay, and then going this way alternately, you'll see the numbers on the left side of those coordinates changing. This is the length, and again, it doesn't matter if it's less long than something that I called wide. That's the easiest way that I have of marking everything on these hanging signs, because, you know, it would take way too much to give all the coordinates and it'd be confusing to do that. But if I can show you, like, this is 10 blocks long up here. Oh, I meant to take these out, but anyways, so like I'm going 10 blocks long, whoops, this way, and then this here is 17 wide, and that should show up on here. Yeah, so, you know, long is wide, wide is long, but not always. Anyway, so now that I've explained that, I want to start on the inside because you might be choosing to carve this out of, you know, like a side of a mountain or some other thing, although I wouldn't recommend that unless it's a completely solid mountain, because you don't want mobs spawning in where it's outside of it. You want them spawning in inside. But anyway, so I've put up a bunch of these hanging signs that give the inside dimensions. So for this entire farm, going, you know, from that upper corner down to this lower corner, down below the water and that one layer of magma blocks, that is a total, again, of 11 blocks. So, you know, when you're first making this giant hollow cube, on the inside, you're going to want that to be 11 blocks high. And if you're finishing it off, then the 12th layer or level would be the ceiling, and then the 13th layer would be the floor that goes underneath all of this. Alright, so let's see, interior wise, this iron farm is 15 blocks wide, so again, that's going this direction. Okay, and then on this side we have 9 blocks long, so that is, well, going this direction. Okay, just to reorient you there. Okay, so let's see, what do we have here? The smooth basalt in this kind of like a, I don't know, it's just a wall. I mean, it doesn't, mostly anyway, it doesn't have to be there. Pretty much this whole thing is just a big giant cube, but that wall just kind of, it denotes the division between the iron farm, which is here. You know, I've got villagers and beds and some fletching tables down below this. I'll show you that in a minute. So this is the iron farm, and then this is an overworld spawn-in area, and it's extra large, just to make sure that large overworld mobs can spawn in here, and then they'll read these trapdoors as solid blocks even though they're not, and then they'll fall down, and then the water will carry them into the center there. Okay, so let's see, I think I have... Did I not put signs in here? Oh, I did. They're down on the magma blocks. Okay. Anyway, so in here, now, you'll notice that this is not exactly a smooth wall. It can be. You can do that. I just didn't wind up doing that because I wanted this to be similarly sized to the XP base that I have down below. But anyway, so what I have here is for the overworld spawning area on the interior, that's 18 blocks wide. Okay, so again, this way. And then 19 blocks long. And I'll show you what this looks like on the outside for that difference in the sizes for these farms. On this side, I went out by 1 block when making that wall. I believe the wall is, it starts on this block here. That's what I think anyways. I'm not sure, but I think so. Anyway, and then I went out on this side by 2 blocks. So this overworld mob farm is just a little bit larger. But you'll notice that it more or less is flush with the XP base that I have here. Yes, that's a fairly tall base. It's 3 stories tall. And I showed you a little bit of that in the previous video as to why I did that. Anyway, so where did I put this? Okay, well, now I'm gonna want this. Oh, and I wanted to show you, let me get back in here. The block number information for these steps. That is, okay, so there's 1 block wide of a step at the top here. And it's not clear at the top of the magma. It is 3 blocks down from the top of that. And then you go down by 1 block, and you go out by 5 blocks. Okay. You go down by another block, and then you go out by 4 blocks. Then you go down another, really 2 blocks. Now, right in the middle, I wound up putting a couple of extra magma blocks in because that pushed the water all the way to the edge of this hole for this tube. You might want to do that. You may not want to, I don't know, but I didn't carry that all the way forward. I probably, well, on the width on both sides, I probably could. I don't think it would hurt anything, but don't quote me on that. This is how it is, and it works just fine. Now, JC Plays has a kind of a water feature corner design that he does, and I've mimicked that here. Basically, you go in by 4, out by 3, and then you fill it all in until it's diagonal by 4, I believe that is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Anyways, you do that in every corner. I did wind up adding at least 1 extra water bucket towards the middle here, and again, it was for kind of the same reason. It looks like I did either 1 or 2, I think just 1 water bucket on the opposite side too. Basically, I was having a little bit of trouble getting the water to come all the way to the edge of this tube. So anyway, you know, that's just an aesthetics choice. If you want this Overworld farm, first of all, you don't have to have everything with holes that are this big. I mean, that was just something I decided to do. But anyways, you know, if you want to bring the walls of this farm in, you know, feel free to do that. They'll match up with this a little bit better. You might still wind up doing these 2 magma blocks here, but maybe not. I mean, if you push this wall in and then move the whole, this whole tube over, then you won't have to do that, but then you'll be moving like everything over by 1 block in this entire machine. So I would not, and I am calling it a machine because it's multiple farms, it's not just 1 farm, and I don't have a name for that. Maybe there is a name for it and I'm just, you know, ignorant, but anyway, yes, I get Squid in here. So it's an Overworld mobs, Squid, and Iron Farm combination up here. Okay, so I'm going to go through and try to find all the torches. Oh, so there's a creeper going down. Okay. And let's see, let me make sure it's dark up here. Oh, well, almost. So let me go over here, get this torch, come down, and see if I can find all the torches up here. Okay. And there we go. Okay, looks good. Alright, so let me go ahead and get out of here. And there we go. Okay, so that is the upper part of the iron farm, and then that other, and then down below I have, now I don't want to take off of this top layer because that should be a ceiling for this side of it at least. So yeah, what I want here is this. Oh, you're kidding. I got a slime in here? That's a first. How is it? I mean, that's a regular slime, not a baby slime. That makes no sense at all. I will show you something fun though, if it'll... Can I do it? Let's see if I can pull it this way. Maybe it can be like a game. No, I can't pull it this way. When it's in water, I've sometimes been able to kind of yank those things around. Anyway, So yeah, getting back to the, the iron farm. So I have, the way I did this was, I have 9 fletching tables with the glass blocks on top of them, and I went over by 2 spaces. I put a door and a button in, and there's another button on the other side. Where did I put that? Yeah, it's on the other side, the adjacent side of that glass block. And then I have 11 fletching tables with their glass blocks on top of them over here. And you can see where this, in the ceiling, the floor starts out as the emerald block and then turns into the magma block. Well, that's because this floor, it goes on the inside. Oh, let me open this up. On the inside, this floor here, on the outside it's encased in magma, but up to about probably here or so, it's just like all block of emerald on the inside, and then the magma block goes in those stairs downwards. And the reason for the magma block for the uninitiated is that it will kill pretty much any spawn that, probably any spawn anyways, that comes in there. So anyway, that's the farm that I forgot to include. Well, both of those, the iron farm and the larger overworld mob spawn-in area up there. I forgot to include those in my previous video about this, so there you go. What I'd like to show you now are some more of the dimensions of this entire machine here. This being for the XP farm. I've already given some of the dimensions, but I actually didn't wind up giving everything, so I'd like to do that now. Starting with the top and moving down, the smooth basalt block is 6 blocks high, that's all the way around. And then for the magma blocks, that's another 6 blocks high. Now, the iron farm includes the villagers, and those are basically everything between these sets of blocks here. Actually, it might be just a minute. Let me make sure I have that right. Because if I have... I think that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Anyway. So, now, that was not taken into consideration when I did that sign down there. So starting with this block and going all the way down to this block, that's 20 blocks high. So the quad piglin portal farm that is down here is 16 blocks high. Okay, and then moving on to the main overworld mob area, the spawn-in area that I'm facing now. That's just for even like the smaller, it's just for any of the overworld mobs. That is 20 blocks wide, and then 20 blocks long. And actually, I think it might be 21 blocks, because things got a little bit messed up on the inside, and the interior length of this is 19 blocks. So I think that's actually probably 21. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and come on inside here and show you what I have. I put some signs in. I need to get some torches in here. Let's see. And I'll start with this first because I need to try to remember. I didn't get signs set up for that. But anyways, this is 14 blocks wide by 15 blocks long over here. So I just want to make sure I remember that. And then the other thing, I do have some signs for these. this pattern that I have in here is 5 spawning sections with 1 space between each, and they're each 1 space wide as well. And then over here I have 4 spawning sections with 2 being 1 space between them, and then 1 being just a single space that's 2 blocks wide. And then each of these spawning areas are 1 block wide each. Okay, so for the interior dimensions of these walls, the entire height of this, from that block to the block below this, is 8 blocks. And then, yeah, see, I have the length of this being 19 blocks. And that kind of makes sense because something got messed up for the spacing between this and this. See, this is 2 spaces wide at the end there, and this is just 1 space wide over here. That was not intentional. That's just kind of what wound up happening. And I'm just living with it. I'm not gonna take all the time and trouble to rip all that out and fix it. So anyway, oh, and this is that corner design that JC Plays has on his channel, and I think he's probably the one that made it up. So it's 4 blocks long, and then another 3 blocks wide, and then you just go 4 blocks on the diagonal this way, add another block in the middle, and there you have that corner feature. You put 1 water bucket at each of the sides of these blocks, as opposed to the top, and then 1 water bucket in the top corner over there. Oh, and I did wind up having to add an extra water bucket on this wall over in front of this right-hand space here, and then going straight in this way, I wound up having to put another water bucket down below that torch there. Then I also wound up having to put in a couple of extra blocks of emerald, and I put carpets on top because I don't want mobs spawning in right there. I think it's just easier that way. But anyways, that was in order to ensure that the water would come clear to the edge on all sides, because it wasn't originally doing that. Okay, so I'm going to take these torches out. And I think these 2 are probably the last ones. Nope, this one. Okay, oh, I think I missed one. Alright, there we go. That should be it. Okay, so that is the main overworld mob spawning area. Down below it, I have a 3-story XP base set up here, and again, it's 20 blocks wide, and then this is 17 blocks long, and then the total height for this is 17 blocks high, and then when you go 2 blocks from the bottom, then you can, put in some glass blocks for the windows. Those more or less go all the way around, excepting where there is a need to fill in for like walls, or like where I put a bit of a wall piece in there because of these blocks. Okay, and that brings me to the fishing pond, as it were. Alright, so the fishing pond, it has multiple dimensions on it, really. I'm going to take a look at the upper dimensions first. If I can find all of them. Where I've got the one. Oh, there's the other one. Okay. Well, first of all, the wall is 4 blocks high. This top row of blocks is really some stairs. And then the blocks above those, of course, are fences. So that's really like a 5th block high. But, you know, it's 3 blocks of solid blocks up here. Then the stairs, then the fences. And then this is a separate thing that I'll get to in a moment. But anyways, for the length on this, that is 9 blocks long. And then the width is 14 blocks wide for all of that. And now to get to the actual pond itself, there are water buckets laid down on top of most of these blocks. Not all, but you know, at least the ones going around the length and the width on each of those sides over there. And I'll get into that more in a moment. But anyway, that area for the water is 12 blocks wide. And then 7 blocks long. Okay. Now, as I was explaining about the water, first of all, I have a lot of stairs in here. That's just for decorative purposes. I put water buckets on each of the stairs, on each of the, well, this side here, and then going along down this way. And I want to say I had to do that on these stairs as well, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't quite remember anymore. So I did that layer first, and then I came to, or level, I should say. I came to this level, and I went around again and put water blocks pretty much around everywhere. I did not put water blocks on these steps. I don't think it really matters one way or the other. It's just sort of there. But, what I did for these water fountains is I went down 1 level from these stairs, and I put 3 stairs in, and then I think there was a block in there already, so I broke that block and put some water down, and then put water in all 3 of these stairs, and then I did another water block in the corner. And I think maybe on all 3 of those stairs on that side too. But what I noticed when I did that for both corners is that water was coming out the back end, so I put some fences to put a stop to that, and kind of tried to be a little bit decorative, but I mean, there's more that I could do. I just didn't really, like, extend that out very far. When I say that, I mean, like, these blocks here. I could have, like, built all of that completely out, and I think that would look fine. But anyway, so yeah, I've got more stairs up here. This is all like patchwork, variegated, whatever, just to go along with the XP base. And as far as the number of stairs, I don't think it really matters too much, but I've got 3 internal and then 2 end cap stairs. And then, looks like 5 internal, I think. Yeah, 5 internal, and then, you know, 2 end caps, 1 on each side. And I just carried that through all the way down. But in the end, well, I guess this is the end, the 3rd level of stairs down. I just kind of went all the way around, excepting where these fountains meet with the stairs. And then I put some solid blocks on the back there. Okay, so getting inside, what I did here is I put another step over on the side there, and I just want to show this really quick. These 3 blocks are really important for centering a player. If you're in survival mode, So you can't just fly around. You can hop, but you can't fly unless you have elytra on, and I don't suggest using those here. Anyway, when you're going down, you need to stay centered, or else you'll just kind of fly off and you'll die because you're in survival. And now I'm using my spacebar to go straight up, not the W key, because if I used W, I would fly straight off again. And that was how I flew off the first time. So when I went down, first I was just not pressing anything, and then about here, I hit the W to show what happens when you do that. The way to stay on this ladder when you're on the way down is just don't touch anything. Anyways, to go up, press your space bar and just keep on going up the ladder until you get up there. These 3 blocks just keep you centered so that you don't really have to worry too much about that. Now I'm going to go back into like I'm in creative, because that is where I am for that mode. And I want to show you this ladder for the dimensions. Okay, so this ladder is 33 blocks high, and 1 more for this top part here, so that's 34 blocks. And then you're going to want 34 ladders to go along the side there. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for the basics. I'll just very quickly show some stuff going on for the different stories in here. This first story is 4 blocks high total. And for the internal dimensions, you just take 2 blocks off of what the external dimensions are. I've got, for this little section here, these are the mechanical blocks that I used for this build. These are all the different color blocks for the variegation. This is just where I keep, you know, fishing related things, my loot and so forth. I have a anvil here, crafting table, and a furnace. You'll pretty much find those in any kind of a base, anywhere. I will show very quickly the purpose of this whole... Oh, oops. I think I do have the mob spawning turned off. It's been a little while since I messed around with that, but I think that's how I left it. So, in order to go fishing and keep your fishing rod from breaking, you stand back here on this, one of these blocks. You can stand on the stairs, I suppose, at the top. But anyways, keep the gate open, aim way above it, and the anchor, not the anchor, the bait out there will go into the water, and get you your loot and your XP. And what's nice is that you can just stand here, because there's mending on this fishing rod, then it's like your eternal fishing rod. You never will have to worry about it breaking, because as long as you have the kill chamber on and the mob spawning on, the XP that you'll get from the mobs being killed in the kill chamber will be applied to your fishing rod. Now, if you're not holding it, then it'll be applied, like, to say this, well, if this sword had mending on it, then it would be applied to that. You know, or if you're holding something like this, then, you know, you'll get the XP. But anyway, you know, it's nice to be able to mend your fishing rod while you're using it, because if you don't need the XP for your player, but you do need it for your fishing rod, because you need to, anyways, you need to get the different loots that are available from fishing, then you can just, like, whoops, sorry about that. You can stand here and get that XP, and it'll just be applied to your fishing rod and keep it mended. Oh, anyway, so that's how you do that. And then when you're done fishing, you put your fishing rod back, and it'll be there for next time. Alright, so, oh, I suppose I can put these away, because I think I'm pretty much done with them. And I probably, yeah, I think I already have torches in there, so I don't need to add any more. And this, I think, is full. Yeah, I've already got the block of emerald in there. So some things I'll just be getting rid of when I'm ready to. But anyway, so now I'm going to take you over to this little explanatory area and show you kind of the inner workings of the item sorter down here. As well as some additions that I've made even to what I did at the back end. What I want to do first is just kind of introduce the sections of this item sorter to make it a little easier to understand what's going on over there. So this section here is all the items that are currently being sorted. And then this section over here is the items that, well, there can be items to be sorted over here in the future, but there's nothing being sorted yet. And the reason that matters is because of the way the hoppers are set up. I've got 4 levels or layers of hoppers here, and they're all kind of facing in some different directions. The 2 hoppers that face into the double chests are obviously facing towards me. The hoppers on top of those are facing towards these redstone comparators. And then you've got this last layer of hoppers that are sending items out to this double chest to be further processed. Okay, so what's happening here with, for instance, these are glass bottles, and for this 3rd layer of hoppers, if you want to sort an item, you need to have the first 4 slots in the hopper filled with you know, some item that doesn't exist in Minecraft, at least normally. And an easy way to take care of that is just to take some dirt and put it in an anvil, and then rename it to something like fill or to something else that does not exist in the rest of Minecraft. And so you'll want 1 of each of those in these 4 slots. And then for this one, you'll always want 41 of the item that you're trying to sort to be in this furthest left slot over here. Okay, so now down below that, you'll want 1 stack of each, and a stack being 64 items. So you'll want 5 stacks altogether in both that hopper and in the hopper below. That just helps to really make sure that nothing gets messed up or, you know, sent the wrong way or whatever. Anyway, the thing is, when you're not currently sorting anything, if you don't fill all of these slots with some more of that fill block, you're going to be getting everything that ought to be going down on this top row of hoppers towards that chest. So what you want is to block that off, and you'll do that in every single one of the hoppers in this 3rd row from the bottom. Okay, so alright, so what you have going on here at the end, the back end that is, of each side of this double item sorter, is that when you have the items that have been filtered all the way down, basically along this top row of hoppers, because they couldn't fall into either these hoppers because they're not filtering for anything, or because they didn't match any of these items that are being filtered with this whole, system of 41 items up in the third row, and then in the second row of hoppers, and then the first row, you have all of those filled up with items that are being sorted for. Anyways, so if it didn't match any of those, and there's no ability for it to fall down through there, then it'll get filtered all the way to this chest, and then these hoppers will pick that up and send it down into this furnace, which is fueled by buckets of lava that come down through that hopper and into the backside of it there. Okay, so what's going on over here is that once the items are smelted in that furnace, they will fall into the hopper that's under the furnace, which will feed those into this crafter. Not a crafting table, it's a crafter. It's sort of similar, but it automates the process so long as there are observers in it, and I'll show you very quickly. If you have one observer facing away from the here, so if you have a crafter like that, basically what that looks like here, I forgot to show you, is there's a face that comes out of it. That face, actually, that's the wrong way. The face needs to be this way. So if you have the face coming out one direction, and then you have an observer pointed toward it on the side, and then if you see that face on the observer, well, when you're aiming away from yourself with an observer, you're always going to see the rear of it, that little red, well, it's not lit, but there's a red button at the back there. So you always want to have the observers facing each other if you want power to happen between them. And adding more observers behind, I don't know how much extra power that adds, but I've found that having two that face away from the crafter and one that faces towards it seems to do pretty well for powering it. So anyway, that's what's going on over here. So again, the items that are picked up after they're smelted by the hopper that feeds into that crafter, those will collect until there are, in this case, gold nuggets, at least one gold nugget in each slot. And then once that happens, because this is being powered by the observers, that will become a gold ingot. The crafter will spit that gold ingot out, and that will be picked up by the hopper that's down there. And something that you can do if you want to, like if you have items that float around for some reason, you can put another hopper this way, and that will feed down into that hopper. I've not found that it's necessary to do that in this particular build, but you can. Anyways, once items get fed into this hopper, which is aimed into this double chest, those will be gold ingots that get fed into there, and then they'll wind up here in the double chest. Okay, so that's how that works. That's pretty standard. It's not too difficult to figure out. I've got an extra chest here for bows and another one for other items like the chainmail helmets. Anything that gets stuck in this furnace that won't smelt, I just put in there because, you know, at that point, it needs a place to go. So that's this end of the double item sorter. And of course, this item is the same way. Let me check and see. Yeah, there's no bows or anything in there. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and fly on over here and show you what I have. This is a platform that is 4 blocks high, and from this corner over to this corner, that side is 37 blocks long. And then from this corner to this corner, that side is 16 blocks wide. Okay. There's quite a lot going on here. The end of this is what I'm most interested in at this point. I'll take a look at the rest of this in just a moment. But what I want to show you here is a very strange setup. First of all, I've got 2 different designs, both of which seem to work. At least this one works most of the time. I don't know if I just misused it or what happened. At one point, this wasn't working for me. At another point, it was. The principle seems to be the same for both of these, and I'll show that to you now. This one is fairly straightforward. I'm going to just kind of show what this looks like here. Okay. It starts off pretty much the same as what's at the far, the back end of that item sorter over there. You've got your chest for your swords, chest for your lava buckets. Now, none of this is functional. I just built this as a model to kind of show how the mechanics of this work a little bit better. But anyway, it's got this sort of it's kind of like a loop sort of thing. Let me get down here so you can really see what this looks like. Okay, so it's got the redstone comparator and the redstone dust, and then and by the way, that comparator is facing inwards towards the middle of that T shape by the solid block. But anyways, so this redstone repeater faces inwards towards that as well. And then on this side, you have a redstone torch. And that basically powers the whole thing. It forms a sort of, it's the same as this here. It forms a sort of a loop. I'll show it on this side. So it just kind of, I don't know, it's doing its thing. Anyway, so let me fill this all in. Okay. And, well, I'll open that one up. Anyway, so this hopper here faces into that comparator. This hopper faces towards the crafter that has the lever on it. Now, that lever is very important because without it, the crafter would just kind of automatically be running. And the thing is that what it receives are the gold nuggets that were created, the gold ingots that were created from the gold nuggets that were crafted by this crafter. Those are fed into this hopper that's right in front of the crafter. And then the thing is, so gold ingots can be crafted into either nuggets or into blocks of gold. And that just depends, I guess, on the design in a crafting table or a crafter. I'm not like overly familiar with what the requirements are for each of those designs, but you know, if you have all gold ingots, you know, like one in each of these spots, then that will create a block of gold. And I don't remember if it's just like, well, I don't remember exactly how that all happens with getting the nuggets, but what I do know is if this lever is not there and if it's not keeping this turned off until you want it to be on, you'll just wind up with gold ingots, gold nuggets everywhere. And I apologize, I keep like mixing up the ingots and the nuggets, and it's not out of anything other than just basically being tired. I have been over this just over and over again. In fact, right now I'm having to re-record this because my mic just like cut out on me, and I basically lost about an hour and 20 minutes worth of audio. That's just terrible. Anyways, I'm hoping to cut this down, but you know, so in that vein, I'll just keep going. With this crafter, yeah, you need the gold ingots, one in each of these, and you wind up with a gold block of gold. But you need to have a full stack of 64 ingots in each single one in order for this to really work well. So once you have that, then you turn this on, and it'll start automatically making the blocks of gold, which the crafter will shoot out of its mouth and into this hopper. This hopper is facing into that chest, and then you can get your blocks of gold that way. That sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. I don't know. What worked better for me in the end, go ahead and break all that out. In fact, yeah, I'm gonna just break all of this open so you can see it. I've got the 3 hoppers here, but I have a piece of redstone dust and then a lever on top of this crafter, which is facing this hopper, which is facing this chest. And basically, if I can open this up, just kind of open all of that up so it makes it easier to see. And let me get this. Okay. So, there we are. Okay, so it's basically starting as the same setup. You have your chest for your swords, your chest for your buckets of lava, you've got your furnace for smelting, and then the hopper that's under the furnace that picks up the smelted items and feeds those into the crafter. Those will be gold nuggets. And then the crafter will spit those into these hoppers. Now, this hopper filters for gold ingots. Oh, that's something else that goes on down here, and I forgot to show you that. it's, if I can... Well, you can't really see it, I guess. At least from this side. But again, see, there's that hopper that's facing into that comparator. I'm not actually convinced that that's doing any serious good in this particular design. However, I did notice that at some point after I took that out, while I was converting this design from this one into this design here, I hadn't done the rest of that work yet, so I had just started to deconstruct this. When I took the when I took this hopper out and the one down below it, well, actually, even just the one that's down below it, when I took that one out, it basically broke this setup over here when I was doing that over here. So I'm leaving those hoppers the way that they are for that, but I can't claim to understand exactly why that setup works the way it does, because it doesn't make much sense, at least not to me. But anyway, so I have that same kind of powered loop, as it were, going on over here with that comparator and the hopper going into it, the redstone dust, the redstone repeater, and the redstone torch. Okay, now this hopper being down below the one that's pointing into the redstone comparator, that makes sense because it goes somewhere, which is into this the side this time of this crafter, and that's what feeds the crafter the in this case gold ingots, and that crafter, once it has, you know, stacks of 64 gold ingots in here, then it's reasonable to turn that on, and that will create the block of gold. That the face of the crafter is on this side, and so that spits those out into this hopper, and then the hopper feeds those into this chest down here. Basically, it just seems to work better down here if I have that redstone. That was something that I was having trouble with up here, and I think that that's part of why it didn't work at one point. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's like a testy kind of build. Anyways, this seems to be a little bit more reliable as for controlling the power on that and making sure that this crafter has the opportunity to collect all of the gold ingots so that it can make the blocks of gold. Anyway, so I'm going to fill this stuff back in. And let's see. Anyway, now chests won't open if there's a regular solid block over them, but they will open if there's glass. So I'm going to... I think I'll just leave it like that. I forget how I had it before, and I kind of don't care. Anyway, so now what I want to show you is what I've been doing inside here. So I've got these sort of circular power things going on the sides, and then down the middle I have what can become like a hallway or some other thing. I'm in the middle of basically hollowing out this platform to become like a you know, like a basement of some sort, you know, someplace where chests can be used for storage. And the thing is, what I did on this side over here, just again to show as a model, you know, this is not a functional sorter up here, but anyway, items that are being sorted, we're going to pretend that this is gold nuggets that are being sorted. Once these chests become double chests, then they will collect the items. Basically, what happens is items get split between the top chest and the bottom chest because of the way this is set up with these hoppers. And so this bottom chest will always be getting items, and then dividing between it and the top chest. Well, the items coming down from the bottom chest go down through all of these hoppers that point into each other, except for the last one. Well, the last two, that is. The last two hoppers. Take this. I'll show all of this. So this hopper goes down into this one. Well, these last two hoppers are aimed into these two chests. And so, you know, like, you can have the frames on the top row or whatever. But anyway, if you do this all down the row of items that are being sorted up here, then basically you have a internal access to all these items that are being sorted, just kind of all going down the line. And then you have, you know, it's like a basement storage system for your XP base, which would be above. And let's see, so let me kind of open this up, because I've got torches kind of going down the hallway there. So those are generally bright enough to keep mobs from spawning in down here. Anyway, so one thing to note is that if you go with the design that I mentioned over here, well, you've got those observers that are in the back over here. And so a good thing to do is to encase those on the other side, so that you don't have to, you know, look at those while you're in your base down here. So this here is basically the encasement for those. So you just leave those covered up. And now if you go with this other design, it is a lot cleaner. And if you can get it to work so that it's just like this, well, that's fine. You know, that'll be good. Let me get down here. There we go. You know, and it'll leave you a little bit more space on this side. So anyway, that is this whole concept. You know, if I had thought to just like create a big giant hollow rectangle, I would have done that instead. But you know, here I was laying down, you know, 4 layers of just, you know, nothing but solid block. And you know, that took some time, and now I'm taking time to hollow it out. So my best suggestion is to, you know, do your 37 blocks along the, you know, 2 sides that way, and then your 16 blocks along this way, and fill it all in at the ceiling until you get to this back end here. And then when you've gone in by, I guess that would be 3, 4, 5. So the last 5 blocks to the end, then go ahead and fill those all in, and then just kind of carve it out as desired. You know, I'll show you the pattern for the doors and the windows there. So basically this is 3 blocks, and then this should be 6. Whoops. Well, anyway. So, and then of course 1 block between the windows and the doors. Okay, so that's it for the back end of this, as well as the underside, where it's like a basement storage area. I do want to show you very quickly what's going on with these sections back here. So I basically broke all of this apart so that you can see, like, this is, if I can get back here, this area here is for all the items that could be sorted someday, but there's nothing going on to actually sort them. So like right now, this here doesn't, this is from a previous recording, this starts out like that. So basically you're not sorting anything, you're just sending everything along this top row down to that chest. And if you at some point decide that you want to sort something, you'll need to get 41 of that thing. It'll have to be a stackable item. You'll need to get 41 and then replace this left slot in the hopper with that, and then you'll need to take you know, your stack of 64. Oh, by the way, before you do any of that with the hoppers, you'll need to build this first. And now this should already be built by the time you get to the idea of, like, oh, now you want to do sorting in here. But these do have to be put in first. Anyway, once those are put in, then it'll work not only to put that 41 there and keep it there, but also to put these, you know, if you want to put your stacks of, and you'll need to have the stack of 64 in, you know, as one in each of the slots in the hoppers. And that's true for both the top and bottom hoppers down here. And once you have that set up, then you can, you know, like, do your double chest, and then you can start, like, connecting everything down with the hoppers and going inside and so forth. But as it is right now, oops, wrong one. As it is right now, without doing any sorting at all, then everything just gets sent down, and, you know, that's like your first non-sorting column in this row of hoppers and chests and everything. My best suggestion is go ahead and set all of the comparators and set up some extra hoppers and chests, and then just have this third row with the fill in each of those slots, because that way you can more easily come in and just make changes as you need to. And of course, on this side, if you are wanting to do the whole sorting thing, then, like, that's where you would be doing your setup there. So anyway, this is the you know, I haven't built any of this out, but basically this would be the last whoops, the last of the items that can be sorted, because you've already set that up. So like, if you're like that, and then, you know, like, here's your label for that. And so now what you need are, you know, all of these to be filled for both the bottom two hoppers there. And then, you know, this would be your first one. So basically, you just kind of duplicate all of the mechanics for these things going all down the line, and then all the way down here. And the only thing that's different is what you do with especially this third row of hoppers, and then these as well. Now for this end, you know, you have to have a way of connecting your farm or your masher or whatever from all of the mob drops under the kill chamber down into this whole sorting system. So what you want is at least one hopper going into a chest that goes down here. It can be a single or double chest. And you can do, like, you know, another chest up there and a hopper above and so on if you want. Or you can just do a big, long, tall column of hoppers that goes up towards that kill chamber. It doesn't really make much difference, but, you know, if you notice that your system easily gets clogged, you will probably want to do 2 hoppers and 2 double chests, and then, you know, 2 double chests on top of the 2 hoppers, and just keep on going like that all the way up. So it's hopper chest, hopper chest, hopper chest, but it's double across. Now these chests sit on top of hoppers that aim forward, or I should say backwards, really, towards the back of the item sorter, and those aim into hoppers that you can see are aimed in either the left or the right directions. Oops, if I can. There we go. And that is a total of 5 hoppers going each direction, and then this last hopper goes into a hopper that aims towards the back of the sorter, and this one also does the same thing. This aims into the first hopper that is facing a redstone comparator. Okay, when you're building this in the first place, it's really easy to start getting confused as to where your hoppers are, especially if you haven't yet put in the lower hoppers that are beneath that chest. So, whoops, put those in. Anyways, so a really easy way to keep track of all of that is to keep a couple of solid blocks in there until you're done, and then it's just 4 hoppers going in each direction, and then when you're ready, you can, what did I do with the hoppers? There we go. Then you can go ahead and replace those blocks with hoppers that are going the right way. The other thing is, if you don't happen to want this space that goes between the 2 sides of the item sorter, then just have this be 3 hoppers that are between the center 2 and this outside edge instead of 4. Do that on each side. Okay, so that pretty much concludes my explanation of what's going on with this whole getup here. It does take a bit of time to explain these things, but I think that in the end, once you have this set up and operating the way that you like it to, I think you'll be pleased. I think that if, especially if you are going to be in this general area, you know, well, this here is just for a model, but, and I wanted to show you kind of the shape of the, well, there's the iron farm and the larger overworld spawn in area, and then there is the Piglin portal farm. And those all fit into this kind of a strange shape, so I wanted to show you what that looks like. I mean, you can see it over there, but I think it's a little easier to kind of visualize when you can see the whole thing sort of drawn out, as it were. Anyway, so I just hope that, you know, if you're going to be in this area, I hope this works out well for you. You know, especially if you're going to be in the area for a good long time, you're going to want to have this whole thing as a left and right sides duplicated, you know, mirror image kind of a thing. You know, I've got so many chests and hoppers, it's just absurd, really, but anyways, so I've got all of this set up underneath the kill chamber, and then all the hoppers are facing towards the back, into the back of the chest up there, and then I did that again down here, and then I just kind of moved everything down. But this is, again, it's, you know, hopper chest, hopper chest, hopper chest, all the way up. That gives as many slots as possible for this particular build, and it just means that there's a little bit more of an opportunity to get everything sorted and collected properly and so forth. So alright, I think that's pretty much it for this build, and I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch both this video and the previous one that I posted, where I was just kind of introducing you to this whole build. And you know, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and I hope it's useful. Alright, well, thank you, and you have a great day.